Stop right there.
And now, ladies and gentlemen, 12 rounds of boxing scheduled for the final eliminator for the IBF Lightweight Championship of the World. Introducing first, fighting out of the blue corner, standing with his head trainer, Tony Boer. He wears the white and gold. He scaled 9 stone, 8 pounds, 12 ounces. His professional record, 28 victories against 2 defeats. He has 9 wins coming by way of knockout. Fighting out of Barry, Wales, here is the former IBF Featherweight Champion of the World, Lightning, Lee Selby. And his opponent across the ring fighting out of the red corner. He stands with his head trainer, Javier Centeno. He wears the red, white, and green. He also scaled at a ready 9 stone, 8 pounds, 12 ounces. His professional record, a perfect one. 18 fights, 18 victories, 10 of them coming by way of knockout. Fighting out of Sydney, New South Wales, Australia, here is the WBA Oceania and IBF Pan-Pacific Champion, George Ferocious Kambosos Jr. Kambosos Jr.
To the furthest stay there. Protect yourself.
George Kambosos, the Aussie, is burning up nervous energy there. That'll be the kind of fight that Bob Williams, the referee, will have his hands full here, because Kambosos, you get the sense he's going to come charging across this ring.
Second out.
Scheduled for 12, a final eliminator for the IBF Lightweight title. Lee Selby, the former featherweight champion, and a good one. In the white with the gold trim, going up against the man best known at the moment for being Manny Pacquiao's sparring partner, George Kambosos Jr. from Sydney, but he's not boxed in Australia for 3 years now, and like all the elite athletes from that part of the world, you tend to have to travel if you want to get the big action. Certainly that's applicable in boxing, although he's already looking ahead to what might come from when he wins here. He says, let's bring Teofimo Lopez down to Sydney or Melbourne and get it on there. Well, first, before he can get it on with Lopez, he's got to get it on with Selby here. And Selby, there's some rough stuff early on there, yeah. Telling off there from Bob Williams.
Taking counter, George, taking counter.
Well, it's a controlled start, this from Kambosos. I was watching him while they were doing the ring introductions, and he looked like he was ready to just explode out of the blocks, but he's shown a bit of cool and poise here, and he'll put pressure on Selby. Selby's always had good footwork. It's been one of his really good attributes.
First thing you can see here is that Selby's going to move, going to be use excessive movement, and has Kambosos Jr. got the footwork and the coordination to keep up with him and to be able to punch at the same time?
Well, Kambosos would counter that, as he has done all weekend. He would say, he can't do this for 12 rounds, and I am going to catch up with him. That's a gamble.
Stay on him. Stay on him.
Yeah, Selby showing that elusiveness.
Step back. Let him go.
It is a step up for Kambosos. There's no question about that. His last fight back in December at Madison Square Garden. He got the decision over Mickey Bay, the former IBF lightweight champion, who was 36 and very, very inactive at the time. He had Bay down in that 10th round, and he looked good overall. Teofimo Lopez was beating Richard Comey that night at the same venue, which I must admit caught me by surprise. But I think Teofimo Lopez has caught a lot of people by surprise. Not anymore.
Selby, I think, will be quite happy with the way things are going so far. He's thrown a lot of feints, given Kambosos Jr. a lot of looks, and he'll be seeing ways that he can set patterns and set things up as the fight progresses and as the pace starts to slow. Clever from Selby there.
Just like that, George. Touch him again. That's it.
Catching Kambosos while he's reorganizing after the break.
Yeah, he judged the distance beautifully in that first round, Lee Selby. Tony Borg working his corner. Those two have been together since Selby was an amateur, and a guy that started his career 4 rounders at the bottom of the bill in a local leisure centre. I mean, it's an extraordinary story. No one gave Selby much of a chance when he started out of hitting the heights that he's hit.
What do you feel? No, my feet didn't touch the ropes once.
Yeah, he's really sort of got to just get the range sorted out here, hasn't he, Kambosos? Because Selby will pick him off like that. It's quite refreshing to see a guy stay with the same crew his whole career. That's Chris Sanagar on the outside as well. 2 old pros in Tony Borg and Chris Sanagar. They know the game, and Selby's never thought of changing that team around.
Well, they've served him well, and they've taught him well. He's been a world champion. He's only 1 fight away from fighting for it again. Good first round for Selby. Just in the way that Kambosos Jr. was reacting to all his feints.
Well, let's see what adjustments they can make in the Kambosos camp. I wouldn't be at all surprised when the dust settles on this one if Kambosos and his team would perhaps expect to be behind at the midway point, but then they'll look to come on strong in the latter stages. But Selby has always had a good engine, and he's always had a very good chin. I can only recall him being on the floor once. That was against Eric Hunter, the tough guy from Philadelphia, in his second defense of that IBF lightweight title that he won from Yevgeny Gradovic. That's nearly 5.5 years ago now. Wow, that's flown by.
Take that right hand down first now. Good eyes, good. Take that right hand up, put that jab out.
Yeah, and Selby clever here.
Want you underneath that hook.
But Kambosos is also being smart here. He's not looking to waste as much, looking to try and create an opening and an opportunity.
Don't wait on him. Don't wait on him. That's it. Drive him back. Double that up.
Oh, they can drive him back. Selby is one of those guys that is happy on the back foot.
That's it. Good.
Good catching counter from Selby there. If you watch Kambosos Jr. as he steps forward, he's stepping with his heel first.
Good.
And against a fight like Selby, that's far too slow. It's far too slow. Somebody like Selby will be able to time that and catch you while you're stepping on your heel.
Quick. Take that jab up, George. Take that jab up.
He's looking for counters here in this second round, Kambosos.
That's it. Just keep picking that jab off.
Selby's been able to occupy him mainly just with the jab. So far. He's not even through a right hand yet, and I think it's only a matter of time before he starts to set him up, maneuver Kambosos Jr. with his left hand, get him into position and start landing that right hand.
That's it. Double that now. Good, that's it.
Oh, nice body shot from Selby. Again, but he did take one as well.
Put a glove on him. Touch him. Touch him. Remember, touch him anywhere.
Signs of an aging fighter is that the first thing to go is the feet.
Yeah.
The legs. But if you're judging Selby on that, you would say that he looks pretty fresh.
Well, he certainly does through 2 rounds, doesn't he?
Stay on him. Get to that body.
Good left hook there. Good pressure from Kambosos Jr. to finish the round.
Nice, good.
And a good
He
finish
has to
there
do
as
more
well.
of this.
Yeah, he's had success. He's got another one there. A nice little left hand from Kambosos. Yeah, he looks happy enough. Selby looks happy enough. Well, this is going on. Probably the most relaxed guy in the whole place. He's sitting here saying, come on, let's go. You know, one of the things that's been talked about is this empty arena. And Derek Chisora, we've already talked about this before, Andy, is a guy that feeds off a crowd. Usyk has boxed so much of his career as an amateur in empty arenas, and he's so used to just going on the road and winning in the other guy's backyard. I don't think this atmosphere, or lack of it, will bother him at all.
No, it could play a big part in the fight. Chisora's been in numerous battles where he's been behind and has really relied on or drew from the crowd's energy. He won't have that tonight.
No energy from the crowd here for these two lightweights either, but George Kambosos from Sydney in the white with the green trim will need to look to draw some energy from somewhere, because at the moment, early days, but Lee Selby, who says he finds it hard to make lightweight and looks back and wonders how he ever made featherweight, so far looks strong and comfortable. Now that's again Kambosos looking to land those counters as Selby moves in, and that was a warning sign there, flashed across the bows for Selby. Kambosos looked to uncork the right hand there. And now it's Kambosos doing a nice job of making Selby miss.
Yes, as Selby gets more assertive, he's got to be careful, because Kambosos Jr. does have very fast hands. And good reflexes.
Right hand.
Good solid jab from Kambosos.
Remember, up and down.
Well, he's learned so much and developed so quickly since going over to the United States, sparring with Manny Pacquiao ahead of that Jeff Horn fight back in 2017, and basically stayed there ever since. And has worked with, he says, around 20 world champions. There is a danger that you become a high-end sparring partner and you get that sparring partner mentality. I don't think Kambosos has got that, though. This is a guy who's waiting for his own shot.
Watch his breathing, George. Come on. Cut.
Do much better this round, Kambosos.
Okay, come on. Again. 3-2 now.
He's looking to he's been an aggressive counterpuncher. He might he's pressing with his feet, but he's waiting for Selby to lead first, then come back with his own shots. And it's been good for him this round.
Nice. Think and go down.
Yes, it's quite interesting how this has changed. We thought Selby would be the back foot guy, the elusive guy, but he's decided, right, I'm going to go on the front foot. We saw it in that last round, and we've seen a lot more of it here, as you say. Suddenly Kambosos is smart enough to say, hey, there's counters available for me here.
I love the jab of Selby.
It is strong, George. That's it. Keep gripping. Right hand.
Right, step back, both of you. Come on, boys, step back. Box on.
Last few seconds then of this third round, and now Selby goes into retreat, and Kambosos says, right,
There you go.
let's see what we can do.
Watch that elbow.
A nice left hand there from Selby, followed up with the right hand as well, but the glare after he landed that left right on the bell there from Kambosos, just letting Selby know, still around.
Nothing jab. Snap the right hand in his eye. Think about it. At the moment, he knows he's going to the jab. He knows he's going to the jab. Close your left eye, Lee. Please. Listen, just have to win the right hand in with this one, right? Nice stiff jab and chuck the right hand on top. This chin.
Just be patient, alright? When you're pushing, you know.
Close your eye.
I don't think you can tell you when you're pushing back. Can he, Tony?
I know, keep going on.
Eh? Alright.
Well done.
This is good.
Corner! 10 minute jab, not clear back. Right down the whole top.
Second up, round 4.
Be interesting to see in round 4, Andy, whether Selby just changes it up again and decides to sit on the back foot, or, well, no, it doesn't look like it, does it, in the first few seconds of this fourth round. He's coming to take it to Kambosos. Kambosos doing a nice job defensively himself. It's Selby that can't get the range here. these early seconds of this fourth round. Again, missing. This is very encouraging stuff defensively from Kambosos. Selby looks to change the angle and still can't find the range. Kambosos is very patiently waiting for the counter. He does have those fast hands, doesn't he? Kambosos, you can see they're lightning.
He's positioned and he's waiting for Selby to come in. Selby needs to feint.
That's it. Now let the right hand go.
To trigger something first, or a reaction from Kambosos before he punches. You can't just go in and punch at will, because Kambosos will be waiting for him.
Can't land a shot here in this fourth round, Selby.
No, but he's catching some glancing shots, but he's giving you the impression that he's forcing the issue, forcing the action, and good right hand from Selby in the exchange. Kambosos Jr. is not going to win the round by waiting.
No,
as much as it might be effective and it might be a good tactic, he still has to initiate some work himself.
Yeah, he's been very, very cagey, and yeah, as you say, Selby might be missing, and Kambosos is making him miss. But as you say, very little coming back from the Aussie.
And all the while, Selby's picking the jab, picking the jab.
Pick it up, George. Take it to him now. Good, I need 2 of those. Good. That's it.
Yeah, missed that.
Bring it up again. Bring it up.
Selby,
Up in the box.
definitely the man who... Rounds like this, it's tough to score in favour of Kambosos, isn't it? Because there's just no work rate coming from him at all.
He'll hit a 30-second clapper, and he's gonna. I think he's gonna try and unload to try and steal the round. But Selby in some way all-manning him here, you know, forcing him back without having to punch, manoeuvring him just with feints, and then landing sneaky right hands like that.
Yeah, that was better from Selby.
That right hand on your chin, George. Nice, good. Keep working her inside.
A bit low there from Kambosos. Down to the last 10 seconds, and now Selby is on the back foot, and a little complaint to the referee there.
Touch, George. That's it.
Strange round this. An awful lot of work coming from Selby, but much of it out of range. And very patient work from Kambosos. Getting the double jab going.
What's the matter with that jab and hook up it? He's always doing his right hand, then he's protecting himself. Take his right hand away from him.
Just go down for the last.
You control now.
That's about 15 seconds.
Put your head back, mate.
Boxing very, very.
Corners, 10 seconds. Seconds out, round 5.
Round 5 then, Lee Selby, the former featherweight champion who's boxed many, many times in London down the years, up against George Kambosos, the now regular traveller from Australia. His last 5 fights, he's had 3 in the United States, 1 in Greece, which is a bit of a spiritual homecoming from him. That's where the family originally came from, and another one in Malaysia. Here he is in the UK. Strange round, that last round.
I thought it was a good round for Selby. Kambosos Jr. came on at the last, as they said in the Selby corner, you gave away the last 15 seconds. Sometimes that can be enough to lose your round. But I still had it for Selby.
That's again nice from Kambosos. So I'm going to disagree with you there, but one of us is a former world champion, so I know whose opinion carries some weight around here. Well, I thought Selby was missing a lot in that last round and just didn't look comfortable. And here he's missing a lot as well.
That rhythm. Up and down. That's it. Yes. Don't wait.
No, they're just saying to him now, just get after it in the Kambosos corner. That's nice. He's having some success with these counters. This is one of the things people talk about George Kambosos, because he's all brash and talks and he's got these fast hands and all the rest of this, that and the other. But people who know him say he's a very, very smart, technical tactician, and he's got a high boxing IQ. He certainly doesn't come in as some kind of wild man that's looking to take your head off with every punch, is he? This is really smart what he's doing here with Selby.
It's probably his best chance of landing something clean on Selby, because Selby's so slippery and so elusive with his movements. Kambosos Jr. struggles when Selby's moving his feet. He finds it hard to punch and move his feet at the same time.
Which is what
That's why he's adopting this tactic of letting Selby punch first, where Selby will have to hold his feet to punch.
Well, it's the first couple of rounds he went looking for Selby, and Selby just wasn't there for him, was he?
Sit him on the rope. Sit him.
Now, this is where Selby looks good and confident.
Right, you gotta touch that, come on.
Yeah, as they're saying, in the Kambosos corner. Got to make something happen. Or at least touch. Fifth round about to come to an end here. Oh, lovely right hand over the top from Selby, and Kambosos took it really well, but that might have been the cleanest shot of the fight so far. Comes in from Selby. Now, is it going to be another step on the road to becoming a two-weight world champion for Alexander Usyk? He has no doubts at all. That's the only question, really, isn't it? Can he run with a really big, hard-hitting heavyweight? That's the only question that's left. We find out a lot of answers tonight. Here, well, it's Lee Selby looking to give himself one more shot at the big time against this very, very committed Australian. That's the shot. Kambosos Jr. took it really well.
Just stayed in range too long, Kambosos Jr.
Round 6 then, in this IBF final eliminator at lightweight. Lee Selby, who's had a couple of fights since moving up, was beaten up a little bit against Omar Douglas. He was cut on both eyes, both from head clashes, and then just managed to get past the old three-weight world champion Ricky Burns. A couple of good old pros at work there. Ricky Burns never gives anyone an easy night.
For me, Selby's looking quite comfortable now. I know Kambosos Jr. is still dangerous, still in the fight. Still a hard punching fighter, but maybe surprised me, but good combination from him. But I think Selby is starting to look comfortable to me, starting to be able to read Kambosos Jr., be able to, when he wants to go on the back foot, he can go on the back foot. When he wants to press and go forward, he can go. So he's kind of having his way.
Up and down, just like that. Break him. Break him.
He's dictating in terms of where they fight and how they fight.
Go down.
Kambosos Jr. hasn't really stamped his authority on the fight yet.
There. That's where you want him, George. Come on.
Yeah, and we just had about 20 seconds there where Kambosos didn't even throw a punch. I mean, he has thrown a few and landed a few really nice looking counters, but he's trying, when he's coming forward like that, he's trying to be the lead-off guy. He's had no success, no joy whatsoever.
And it's the jab of Selby that's really setting him apart, because it's occupying Kambosos Jr. and it's setting the rhythm. Setting the rhythm for Selby. And everything's coming from behind the jab. Just like that.
Yeah, and it's a good point you make, Andy. It's nullifying a lot of what Kambosos wants to do. He just can't. It's a nuisance as much as anything, isn't it? There it goes again.
That's it. Stay on.
he hasn't once tried to match Selby with the jab, or tried to use his own jab, or tried to pick the jab at least catch the jab and fire back.
Kambosos doing a lot more pressing in this 6th round, but very, very limited success. As Andy says, looking comfortable here. Selby back. Every so often Kambosos sends out the little warning.
Well, every last 10 seconds or 15 seconds he'll come out and throw some stuff. But it's too little.
Wasn't a lot.
Too late.
Yeah, wasn't a lot came from him there. Just enough to keep Selby honest.
What fight are you watching? Good busy. Start tweaking it over, right? A little bit busier.
Good lad. There's a bucket. Good lad.
Go in single jabs, there's room for another one, and right down the top of it.
Well, look who's in the house. How come he gets in? Just because you're the world heavyweight champion? Anthony Joshua.
I think he does qualify as Ramla Ali's manager. So that is the case.
You're not kidding.
Back, isn't a couple?
I'd just like to see the security guys that say, no, sorry, Anthony, you can't come in here. See, they say that to Andy Lee.
I was lucky to get in.
Second out, round 7.
Round 7 then. Live here on DAZN. Nick Halling with former world middleweight champion Andy Lee, one of the graduates from the legendary Kronk Academy in Detroit. Enjoying this one. Selby looking pretty comfortable so far.
I think we'll start to see Selby try to tan it up a little bit now.
Start getting explosive, okay?
Yeah, I think you'll start to see him try to press forward a little bit more, be a little bit more punishing.
Been operating at championship level for over 9 years now, Lee Selby. He really emerged out of nowhere. He went up to Liverpool and boxed Stephen Smith for the British featherweight title. Stephen, one of the 4 fighting brothers, alongside Liam and Callum and Paul. A huge underdog that night. Nobody knew anything about him. I remember I talked to Tony Borg, his trainer, in the week of that fight, and said, "What's going to happen?" He says, "You watch, my guy's going to knock him out." And everybody went, "What, really?" I tell you, I wish I'd put some money on that one, because Selby was a huge underdog. But since winning that British title against Stephen Smith, he's never looked back.
Touch him up again. Don't pull away.
How much is left in the tank at 33? That's a nice counter to the body there from Kambosos. Really landed a sharp right hand there. And he's looking for more here, and Kambosos is a guy that carries power deep in a fight.
He felt that, Selby. Selby felt that punch, and there was a good left hook before that.
Back on that rope.
So as much as he wants to press the issue, Selby, he still has to be careful. Kambosos Jr. has power, has fast hands, and look at that. Good reaction from Selby to come back with a shot.
Yeah, landed a nice little right hand, but there's Kambosos looking to land the left as well. It's more of a sense of urgency from George Kambosos in the 7th round. Again, there's the body work from the Australian.
Come on, I need 3s and 4s. Come on. Now let's start getting that right over the top.
Doesn't want to hang around and take one of those counters, Selby.
Step back, let him go. Come on, boys, hold it. Box on, come on, boys.
Yeah, they're looking for the counters again, Kambosos.
Keep that jab on hold. Touch him.
And Kambosos is starting to use the jab a little bit now. And it looks good, and it's working.
He ain't moving no more, come on.
Yeah, you can hear what they're saying in his corner. Javier Centeno saying he is moving. You know this is part of the game plan. That they believe the 33-year-old veteran will slow in the later rounds, and that's when he'll be vulnerable, and that's when Kambosos will go to work. He's certainly up the ante significantly here. There's another body, right hand this time. Better round for Kambosos, no doubt about that.
His best round of the fight, no doubt.
Once or twice more during the round, right?
Now, if that is the shape of things to come, this could get very interesting indeed, because Kambosos picked some really nice shots and some softening up shots as well. Still got that Selby jab to deal with, but some of those counters from Kambosos have been beautiful tonight.
Selby has to plan his attacks and be quite smart with it. He has to feint, show something to Kambosos before he throws a punch. He can't just come in, walk into range and throw a punch, because Kambosos will be standing there cocked and ready.
Concentrate on that left jab. Hitting solid with it.
Corner.
Yeah, that was Chris Sanagar outside the ropes there saying, just concentrate on that left jab. I've always said you only need one voice in the corner. I know you only ever had one voice in your ear, and working with Manny Stewart and Adam Booth on either side of the Atlantic, but that little partnership that they have with Selby, with Chris Sanagar and Tony Bull both issuing instructions, has certainly worked for him. And yeah, I think that made sense from Sanagar. Just get back to that jab.
He tried to put it on Kambosos in that round, Selby. He tried to be the boss, but it was too soon. And it was probably never going to happen anyway. Not at this point in the fight anyway, because Kambosos is still there. He's still dangerous. And he won that round, Kambosos.
And again, Selby is pressing forward here, but not very effectively.
Drive him back, drive him. Keep touching.
There's a lot of missing going on at the start of this 8th round.
Get up there. No, don't give him that ground. Don't give him that ground. Come on.
Good right hand to the body from Selby. And a good right hand over the top too.
Yeah. Kambosos got the counter in. He didn't get a right hand in there. Rolled with it nicely, Kambosos, to get out of the way. And now Selby goes tap dancing again.
There you go, good. Again. Good, again. Painted this time, right over the top.
Not sure if Selby has the power lightweight to hurt Kambosos.
That's it, just keep breaking.
Especially when he's punching a lot of time with his fist open.
Nice, good. And everyone downstairs.
Well, that is a
Good
question.
right hand.
Yeah, that's been a question about Selby at this high weight. Does he carry power? Can he bother the big hitters of this division?
I think he's got enough power to earn the respect.
Right underneath that.
But as he is concussive as he was a featherweight, probably not. Good check hook, good counter hook from Selby. Oh, and a good right hand.
That's a big one. That's a big one.
Don't pull back, sit.
This fight is heating up.
Yeah, Selby really had to ride one there and still had the last word. That's the best punch Kambosos has landed in this fight. Selby took it.
Cracking shot right there then. Really on long.
That was a 2-minute round, that was.
2-minute round.
No, that's
Good, because you won that.
listen. Putting a beautiful right hand, then you'll catch him again.
Yeah. Pull that right down, mate. Give me a drink, Chris. Yeah, we didn't have. You need to up the pace. Everything you do, you know what I mean? Try and make him tired. All right?
Make an exchange.
Meanwhile, backstage,
Close your left.
nothing seems to bother this man, does he? I mean, there's ice water running through his veins.
All the hard work's done now. It's not like he's not been in this situation before. He's been to Poland and fought Graki. He went to Russia and fought Gassiev.
Yeah.
He went to Latvia and fought Bradis. He's been to London and fought Bellew. And now here he is fighting Gislo. So
Went to America and boxed Michael Hunter as well, just to add that to the pile. This won't bother him at all.
people forget that victory over Michael Hunter, but that was significant when you consider what Michael Hunter's done since.
Yeah. Round 9 then. It's been very, very tactical and technical, this one. Two really smart operators at work here. And that jab has got to be Selby's best friend right now. If he can control these last few rounds behind that jab. And managed to block that right hand counter nicely there, Selby, right on the glove.
And I think Kambosos is just trying to land that big shot, trying to load it up and just waiting too long instead of just letting his hands go and getting work. When he was jabbing earlier in the previous rounds, he was a lot more successful. When he was just starting to let his hands go a little bit more. Like that, he's just waiting to land one big punch. And against somebody like Selby, who's slippery, slick, it's very hard to nail him clean.
Keep touching.
Yeah, again, the last word in the round in the exchange came from Selby.
Come on, pick it up, that's it. Now, I need more than that, come on.
And it really is the jab. It really is the jab that's separating them.
Yeah, absolutely. He just can't deal with it, can he?
Close the distance a little bit more.
Maybe he doesn't respect the jab because it's not, you know, a power punch, it's not a heavy scoring punch. But they do count. And they do draw your eye towards Selby. And you see he's working. He gives you the impression that he's looking to count, to punch and to win the round.
Follow his jab. Follow that.
And what that jab is doing is, as I said, it's occupying Kambosos, but it's also just going to set up a right hand when Kambosos thinks the jab is coming, but it won't be. It'll be a right hand. Good hooks. Again, end of the round coming, Kambosos picks it up.
Yeah, nice little left hook he got there, but Selby is keeping the pressure on here as we get to the last 30 seconds.
No, don't wait, come on.
No, he's waiting. Here he goes again. The big charge.
Don't give up that ground. Touch.
Big shot, Lee. Big touch.
Come on. There you go.
Oh, so far, Selby doing a nice job. Still staying out of trouble. A little bit of frustration. I've just got the sense that Kambosos, a little bit of frustration was starting to creep in there.
It would only be natural.
Yeah.
Nothing fresh, no cuts, nothing almost fresh, right?
Well, there was some big punching in the previous round to that. That was a beauty there from Kambosos. Selby answered it immediately. Both of them have struggled to land clean. I mean, that was a lovely hook.
Close your left. Moving. The engine's fantastic. Your legs are working great. Let's keep on to that. Listen, you need the hands moving a bit more now, all right?
Close your right eye, mate. Just take a little second. Take a second when you've got right in close. Don't hit him on the back of the head.
Look for a gap.
Look for a gap.
Close your left. There's always a gap there. Look for that.
Corner, 10 seconds.
Close your right. Be the boss, be the boss. Be on me.
Round 10.
They feel very comfortable in the corner. They're starting to look for Selby to start to look in the work on the inside now.
Well, I think it was very telling what was going on in the Selby corner there, because Sanagar in particular is a very emotional guy, and if he thinks Selby's in trouble or he's losing this, he'll be yelling, he'll be making some noise. They're comfortable. They feel their man is comfortable. But Kambosos is dangerous deep. And he put Mickey Bay on the floor in that last round, the 10th round, the last time out at Madison Square Garden. Oh, nice. Nice from Selby. Took one back. Always had a good chin. Selby, very, very durable guy over the course of his career. As I say, I can only think of the one time he got put on the floor.
I need 2 and 3, George. There you go.
Oh, tough old Eric Hunter.
Again, run your turn.
As soon as you turn, come back, right hand, left hook. Bring him here.
It's just the movement of Selby. As soon as Kambosos gets set, gets planted at his feet, Selby steps, and offsets him. Then he has to reorganize, re-step, replant, reset again, Kambosos.
Come on. Don't wait. Touch that shoulder.
As long as Selby is taking those little steps, left and right, back and forth, it's very hard for Kambosos Jr. to land anything.
Right there, that's where you have him.
Nice body shot though there from Kambosos.
I think that rather summed up the fight. There's sporadic success coming from the Aussie, but it's not consistent. It's not consistent pressure. It's the odd decent single shot here and there, but he's never been able to put Selby under any kind of pressure on a consistent basis.
Look,
Come on, there's that left hook.
people's boxing styles, their personality, it reflects their personalities. You talked about Kambosos Jr. about him being a macho man, about him being brash and being tough and being strong and confident. That's how he's fighting.
Come on, keep working.
Selby on the other hand is being cute, being clever, being crafty.
He's reaching reaching with that. He's reaching with that right now.
Beautiful work.
Well, he's certainly trying to tough it out here in this 10th round, Kambosos, that's for sure. And again,
That's it, that's it.
that was better.
Give it away, finish strong.
Just looking to uncork this right hand here, isn't he? Ripped it downstairs, but Selby still looks full of running.
Touch again, touch again.
Doesn't look like the tank is emptying at all. And this is what Kambosos and his team, I think, were banking on, that Selby would wear down, that he'd get old overnight. Through 10 rounds, no sign of that at all. And you see, he stuck his tongue out at the end of the round. Lee Selby feels he's got this completely under control, and it's tough to argue with that. You talk about Kambosos and his high IQ. It's been smart tonight from Selby, hasn't it?
He's led a merry dance. I've got it 8 rounds to 2. Could be 7 to 3, but maybe no more than that. So, but I reckon Kambosos Jr. needs knockdowns or a stoppage.
Close your left eye.
Another drink?
And they're just not bothered at all.
I think this quality.
Yeah, but just step it up.
You can see they've been together for years.
Some beautiful words. All right, we're going to make that.
And it does make a difference.
They probably don't even have to speak in that corner, you know. They could,
Working out of the Tony Borg gym in Newport in South Wales, where his brother Andrew has also worked. A lot of good amateurs have come out of that school as well. The amateurs and the pros train alongside each other.
Come on, push hard, boy. Come on, push.
Round 11 here. And I'm glad you've got it 8 to 2, because I looked at my card and it's exactly the same as yours, 8 to 2, and yet it's been in many ways a close fight, but it's just been Selby doing enough over round after round after round. It's one of those that it's closer than an 8-2 would suggest. But as you say, if we're to be believed, Andy, Kambosos needs, well, never mind knockdowns, he may need the knockout. Selby gets the last word with the left hand off that exchange. Looks strong and full of running still, Selby.
Let him cut that distance, let him cut it for you. That's it.
Well, as I was telling you earlier this evening, Andy, I'd heard the gossip, and there's always gossip, you take it all with a pinch of salt. I'd heard gossip that Lee Selby was struggling at the weight, and he alluded to that himself, that he doesn't find making weight easy. There is absolutely no evidence of a weight drain fighter here. He's still looking really comfortable here in round 11.
and any questions about him aging overnight, they've totally been dispelled.
Totally. And it's George Kambosos that's just got a little bit of an air of desperation about that left hook. It was telegraphed, loaded up, missed badly. And again, Selby rides out of the way. That was a better straight shot that came in from the Aussie. That was nice as well.
Partially blocked, but a good punch. That was better. And a good jab. I'm disappointed he hasn't jabbed more in the fight, Kambosos.
Let it go, Lee. Back him up, let it go.
Kambosos trying to draw him in. Look to see if he can land one of those counters. There it goes. Well, he did land it, but no effect on Selby. Inside 30 seconds now to go of this 11th round. Selby's still looking really fresh. Here we go. A big charge from Kambosos, as we've seen in every round. Is it coming again here? Selby nicely out of range. George Kambosos said he would catch Lee Selby up and wear him down. He's got 3 minutes to make good on that.
Don't make any mistakes in this one, not in shape.
Better round for Kambosos.
Yep, better round. I really wish he would have jabbed a bit more. He kind of gave away his jab, just because I think because Selby was jabbing so much. Never tried to match jabs with Selby. Even there, you can see, catch and pick and return.
Make sure you don't need a chair with him because you're bamboozling him with your boxing.
Well, when you have bamboozling, you've got him covered up. Let him go. Fucking 3 or 4 shots.
He's going to come and
Step
it's
away.
last round.
He's in the front of the
Corner, 10 seconds. Second up, 12th and last round.
So 3 minutes left in this IBF final eliminator at lightweight. Lee Selby in the white trunks with the gold trim on Andy Lee's card. All he has to do is stay upright here against George Kambosos. Is there going to be some late drama? Kambosos has left it till the last round, and you would feel the way it's gone over the previous 11 rounds that it's Kambosos that badly needs the late drama here.
That's it. Bring that left hook over the top.
And taking some chances in the last round, Lee Selby, by coming out. But maybe he wants to punctuate this victory with a final round, or by winning the final round. Good right hand.
Yeah, now that's a big one.
Knee slightly buckled from Selby, and he looks to answer right back. That'll tell you that that shot hurt.
Yeah, now here we go. This could be a very interesting last 2 minutes here, and we know that Kambosos carries his power deep.
Stay back. Let him go.
Selby's just got to be smart here. Don't want to be taking any risks now. And here he is chasing Kambosos though, pushing him back.
Put them together. In combination, guys.
He's got to watch for those right hands here, Selby. Kambosos with a minute and a half to try and find something here.
Selby's also looking for his shot himself.
Yeah, Selby's, well, if he was stung, he's fully recovered. Bit of chit-chat going on there between the two of them. And Selby's got to be careful here. Yeah, that was not smart. Yeah, he has done it, not all fight, but he's certainly done it 2 or 3 times, and he's certainly annoyed Kambosos. That was a bit of a silly one as we get down to the final minute. Or was it smart that he just bought himself a bit of time, as Bob Williams had to have a word? Kambosos comes in with the big right hand. Selby finds the answer again. Less than a minute to go. Kambosos lands with the left, misses that time.
Come on.
It's a strong finish from the Aussie, but
Step back.
is it going to be enough? Down to 30 seconds. Kambosos again with the right counter. Selby can see the finish line. Can he get over the line here? And Kambosos yet finds something. It doesn't look like it. Not sure he can land anything better than that one he landed earlier in the round. And Selby rode it out and finished strongly. George Kambosos said he would retire Lee Selby tonight. He raises his arms in the air as if he's won it. But I don't think, certainly on my card, that Lee Selby is ready for retirement just yet. Good fight, everybody's calmed down, which is nice to see, but Kambosos genuinely thinks he's got this.
That would explain the lack of urgency or the lack of pressure in the final few rounds when he was backing off, but I think he just got outmaneuvered and outworked by Selby tonight. But
yeah, that was a beauty. That really was
he
a
certainly
beauty.
won the last round.
So, and the round before that. I mean, it's ended up 8-4 on my card. You could, with a swing another way, have this now 7-5, in which case it's close, but I'm not sure how you can see that Kambosos has won this. We'll see. Certainly finished on top. Good fight. Never quite hit the heights.
Maybe a little killology there when, you know, the final bell goes, you raise your hands, look like the winner, you know.
Yeah. Judges at that point aren't going to be easily swayed because, of course, the previous 11 rounds have already been tallied. It doesn't matter what you really do at the end. The judges are from the United Kingdom, from Russia and from Belgium in this one. Phil Edwards, Yuri Koptsev and Daniel van der Wiel. It goes down to them. I think he had a big lead going into those later rounds. I think that's going to get him over the line.
I'll take this away.
Well, he certainly didn't look washed up, finished, ready to pack it in. What goes through your mind in these situations, Andy? I'm sure you've been there before. You think you've done it, but until you hear it, what are you thinking?
You're still anxious, no matter how comfortable you've won the fight. You're always, you know, we've seen it before in boxing many times. You think one guy's won it clearly and the decision's called out and the other guy's hands raised. So you're never sure until you're sure.
No.
But you read the body language in the corner, they look pretty happy. And I think justifiably so. But I think Kambosos Jr is a good young fighter.
Yeah.
He's young, that's the thing. And he's trying to prove something by being strong and being macho and trying to throw hard punches. But not only hard punches win you fights. Jabs, maneuvering, slipping, hitting and not getting hit. Ring generalship. And he was just outscored as well tonight.
Yeah. He won his share of the rounds. He did win rounds, Kambosos, tonight.
Shake of the head, that's never a good sign.
No. And I always think it's never a good sign when we get a long delay. It's a tough old wait for these two, as you say. If you both
Ladies
think
and
you've done
gentlemen,
enough, well, we'll
after
find
12
out.
rounds of action here in London, England, we go to the judges' score totals. Yuri Koptsev, 118 to 110, Kambosos.
Wow.
Phil Edwards, 115 to 114, Selby. Daniel van der Wiel scored this contest 116 to 112 for your winner by split decision of the IBF Eliminator, George.
Oh, Kambosos has got it. Wow.
Kambosos
Well.
Jr.
Well, now that's interesting. Selby seems to have taken it pretty well. I don't quite see how you can make that a 118-110 in favour of Kambosos. Well, there you go. That's boxing. It's what you like, what you see. And I'm only talking because I think Andy Lee's a little bit lost for words at the moment.
I'm shocked.
Mike.
I'm shocked. Maybe I've got it wrong. You definitely doubt yourself when you hear those scores.
Yeah.
I just can't see how you give it.
Well, it's a what you like business. It's a subjective business. And two of the three judges definitely liked what they saw from George Kambosos Jr. tonight. And it's he that moves on. And Lee Selby, well, the look on his face, it tells a tale, doesn't it? Not a huge complaint from him. Be interesting to hear from him. Does he feel that was a good decision? Does he agree with that decision?
George, huge congratulations. You said this is your platform, this is your chance. You've taken it. Try and sum up how you're feeling right now.
Mate, that's two former world champions, both in their backyards. I told you I'd do it. I told you I'm too fast, too strong, too aggressive, too smart, too powerful, everything. The footwork, movement. What a win. World #1, mandatory. Lopez. You know what it is now. Let's do it down under. Big crowd. Let's get on. 2 warriors, 2 lions. Let's go to war.
You've been matched well. You've taken the right fights at the right time. Would you be happy to go straight in with Teofimo Lopez now?
Absolutely. Let's do it. I want the fight. I've been saying I want the fight since he won the fight. I want that fight. Man, it's a massive achievement, but there's so much more to go. I've got more work to do, and that's the fight I want next. Unified title shot.
Just finally, you're a proud Australian, proud Greek. You've got friends and family all over the world. You're a dedicated professional. You haven't seen your family for a number of weeks. You got a message for everyone?
Listen, I'm a proud Australian. When I said that yesterday at the press conference, I said, I train overseas. That's why I'm not an Australian class fighter, but I represent Australia with all my heart. I represent all the Greeks. I know we're going through a bit of, hard problems at the moment, but I represent all the Greeks, all the Aussies. This was for you guys, for my family, for my 2 kids, for my partner, for my whole family, my dad, everybody, man, my team. This is a great moment. I'm just, I want to let it sink in, but I'm so happy, man.
Make sure you enjoy it. Well done.
World #1, but I'm going to go train tonight. I promise you I'll train tonight because I want that world title. I'm coming.
Well done.
Thank you to all my sponsors.